All right, so welcome to the very first edition of AI Live from RocketHub. This is edition 000, the first beta test. I'm Clay Speakman, founder of RocketHub and Health Rocket, and I've got Marshall Briggs with me, our head of AI engineering. And we're going to walk through a live look in at how RocketHub uses AI to plan, grow, and execute our business. And this is meant for our investors and our subscribers to help them understand how they might use AI in their business, their life, and all the other areas. And today we're going to we'll see if this actually works because it's a beta test. You never know. We're going to attempt to show some of the tools that we use at Rocket Hub and how we use some of these tools. So this kind of be like an intro course. And then in future episodes, we're going to actually be working on projects live with you guys, talking through how we're doing it and also exploring, playing, testing new things because that's how we use AI is we're constantly just trying to do things. We're not sure if they're going to work or not. Um, and that may be helpful for people out there as they're trying to navigate how to use AI as well. So first thing is I want to say hi to Marshall. Marshall say hi back.
How you doing, Clay?
I'm doing good. But I realized as I was setting this up, two things. One is we don't even have a proper like intro slide. So I think we're going to use our Claude projects to give us like an intro slide because we don't even have a title for the show, a title slide. So we're going to do that. And two is I realized like I'm decked out in all the company merch and gear and you have nothing. So we have to fix that and we got to get you swagged up. So that's on my list. We'll get you some swag so you could
That'd be
represent
fantastic.
on the
I
calls.
love
All
that.
right. Okay, so first thing is we use Claude AI as kind of like our core AI tool, and specifically we use projects. And I'm jumping into my projects here, which should be on the screen. And we have lots of projects set up in Claude, and they're mostly set up like directors or departments in our company. So we've got different code directors for different projects. We've got a marketing and brand director, an AI talent team director, and we'll get into a lot of these. I got a lot of them. We'll get into a lot of them on the upcoming episodes. But today, what I want to do is fix this issue where we don't even have a proper intro slide for the call. So I'm going to go into a project that I've used before that has a look and feel that I like. I can't even find it on the list. Where did you go? Health Rocket Master Programmer. All right. So this is the project that helped us to um, to design the Health Rocket version 2. And we built another project that'll help us design Health Rocket version 3, and we'll get into that maybe today or another episode. But here are some things to understand about a project. One is our Google Docs sync isn't working right now, so it's having some errors. You can see like different documents are not available. This is a Claude issue. I don't think it's our issue. Um, but I'll get into two things. Is one, projects is a specific feature in Claude. We use it as our main go-to source. And there's two things that make projects amazing and about 10 times better than just general AI. And one is a project has instructions. This is a job description of what the project is supposed to do. And this is the guidelines of how the project is supposed to act every time you chat with it. So super powerful. It focuses the project on that to make sure it knows what its job is to do. And the second thing is all these documents here. These are documents that are put in the project's knowledge. So this allows the AI to focus on these documents. And in most cases, this could be proprietary information. This is your own information, your own company documents, your own vision statement, your own goals, and things like that. And the great thing about Claude projects or any sort of level two AI is the more that you create in it, the more you can add to its own project knowledge. So I'm going to go and I'm going to sync a document here from my device. Let's see if this is going to work. Yeah, just because I want to make sure this project gets it because the Google Docs is kind of wonky right now. So I'm going to sync our company's vision, mission statement, goals, strategies, everything like that to this document here. And if you're familiar with EOS, this is called like a VTO document, Vision Traction Organizer. And this is the core document that guides our entire company. So your company may have one of these too. And because we don't want to be a company who has mission statement on our wall but doesn't actually follow it, this document is embedded in every project that we have. So whenever we are doing work in an AI project, it's following the guidelines of our vision, mission statement, our core values, our targets, goals, things like that. So this is a way you can focus your AI to work for you. I'm going to get rid of these Google Docs that are sitting in here because it's just annoying. Um, so this is a way to make sure that your AI is working for you, aligned with your principles and everything like that, and doesn't get off track. Um, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give a simple prompt to this project. I say, please create a, oh, actually, I have to give it one more thing. It doesn't know one of the things I'm going to ask it to do. So let's go back and let's give it this products document. Great. All right. Actually, as I realize this, I'm going to jump into a different project because I realize what I want to do is not going to be done in that project for reasons I cannot explain right now. But anyway, let's get back in here and let's take the Google Docs out that are problematic. Great. Okay, so we have our vision traction organizer in here, and we have another document that explains our products here. And so I'm going to ask this project to please create a graphic visualization. Spelling is not a skill that most people do anymore. Intro slide for a new AI Live. Let's give it a proper title. RocketHub AI Live show that Clay and Marshall are doing. All right, so it should give us something here. I'm not going to give it much more direction than that at all. I'm going to see what it does, but it should give us something pretty close that I think is workable for this show, and we can improve it over the future. But the power of projects, if you've tuned them well and if you've trained them well enough, you can give it just a really simple prompt and it'll be pretty close to what you expect or what you hope for on the outcome. So in this case, it's going through its own project knowledge. It already knows everything about our company. It knows about our products. It knows our design templates. It knows our look and feel. I say all this, it could end up spitting out something that totally proves me wrong. But what's your prediction, Marshall? What's this going to look like? Is it going to be workable?
Yeah, I think this kind of goes to one of our points about prompt formatting. Um, since we have a very basic prompt here, it might not be the final product that we're going to want from this. However, with Claude, you can start to get a really good feel for, okay, what words should I be using when I'm creating different prompts? And so this is kind of like the beginning of that prompt creation because you start with the basic prompt. And then after that, you start to figure out, oh, I need to add these key words in order to get what I want out of Claude. And
Yeah,
so it
so like,
looks like,
yeah, level one prompting is still a skill that people need to do. But you can just see with my basic prompt without very much help at all, it produced a pretty awesome first slide that I would just take right now. This is our slide for the show. So I'm going to copy this link here and copy this link. I'm going to take it over into here and we're going to pretend that we already did this. And when we start the show, there we go. Welcome to our AI live show. Um, you
that's
know,
pretty awesome. And that's just
not,
from one prompt.
yeah. So that shows you the power of why we build and spend time training these projects. It's more work in the beginning to set up a project properly, but once you get it dialed in, it's incredibly powerful because you can give it very simple directions and it can produce things that are consistent, that have your core values, your mission, your vision. Um, I don't know that we are the world's first AI native show. That's probably not a true thing. Um, but it is kind of fun seeing what it did and what it produced. Now, I have sort of one issue here, and when I go back to look at Claude here, I got this nice like logo up at the top for RocketHub AI, which I really like. And then I think if I go here, like it doesn't exist. Like why isn't it showing? So now I have to tell it. Anyway, that we'll fix that in a future episode because there's a little bit of an issue with it not rendering correctly. But those are just fine-tuned points that you can do. With one prompt, you could say, "Hey, this isn't showing." You could screenshot it, whatever, like that. But I think we'll go with this for now. So now we've got our nice intro slide, and now I'm going to get more into projects again. So I'll go back into this project that I just made this with, and we'll go into the chat that I made it with. And so you see here, I gave it a very simple prompt, and it's just showing me how it comes to the conclusion. It's going through all of our documentation. Uh, it is getting our design choices from previous things it's done from us. It's coming up with positioning. It understands our org chart, so it knows who the hosts are. It knows what our job titles are. It adds all this stuff in. It adds animation features. It understands, okay, let's look at your alignment with your VTO. It's taking our core values into design. Um, choices. So it's making design in the slide based on our core values of our company. This is pretty much the definition of following your mission statement and your core values into everything that you do. And all we had to do is give it a simple prompt. So I think this is one of the most meaningful ways to use AI. And go back again, we saw the project instructions and the project knowledge. And if we had just gone into ChatGPT or Claude without a project like this and said, make this slide, it would have just given a generic output, same as it would give anybody. Um, so I don't know. That's why we use these things the way we do. So that being said, I'm going to jump over to a different thing here. And again, as this is just the basic intro, I want to step back and say, all right, how does Clay Speakman think about using AI? Won't cover this every time, but I sort of have some foundational beliefs around AI that guide our company. And one is, I believe, using AI can create anything that I can imagine. It can help solve any problem I encounter. I play to learn AI like a video game. You cannot get stuck on using AI without thinking that it's a new challenge to conquer or a new level to conquer, because most of the things that I unlock are just playing around with it. And then challenge, if you don't challenge uh, your AI to do impossible things, it's not going to do magic enough for you. So we always try to do things that we don't even know are possible. And then another thing is that there's a process that often happens when we're using AI. And that process is that a lot of things start with basic strategy, uh, where you're just having a strategic discussion with AI. It's a plan or it's a process or it's how to think about something. And then it will move into structure. Okay, so how could we structure this if we wanted to move forward? And then a lot of times that structure moves into a design. Okay, this is what it might look like. This is how it could be laid out. This is how to communicate it with other people. And then building it is, okay, can we build functionality around that design? Can we make it interactive? Can we make it do things? Can we connect it to data? Can we connect it to other tools and services? And then deploy, if you get to that point, and sometimes you only get to points one and two, and then that's all you need, or you get to three or four. But deploy is, okay, we actually want to put this out there and make it work. We want to make it do things. We want to make other people available to be able to do it. So, but you can't just go to deploy. Um, you need to work through the process. And the great thing about projects is you can build strategy, structure, design. You could build one, two, and three, and sometimes four into the project completely. And then you just have to tell it, hey, build me this. And it'll just build it in a way that you're already at step 4 and step 5, which is kind of what we did when we built our first slide for AI Life. So, Marshall, any thoughts on any of this? And what kind of swag do you want me to send you first?
Um, you, I think that, yeah, this is like the basics of how you're going to go about your AI development. I mean, you can apply this to any field within tech. You need a strategy, you need structure, and then you also need design to even get to the building portion. And so I think this is, a really nice, simple uh, way to look at the development strategy behind AI. And for
Yeah, but more
swag,
importantly, you want a shirt? You want a hat? Do you need like we got all the swag. But anyway, we'll take that offline. Um, here's the second slide I'm going to show, and then I'll move on to we'll actually get into some stuff. So this is we talk about it here, or I talk about it. We will talk about it. Is the 3 levels of AI usage. Level 1 is where most people are at, just basic prompting. They're using ChatGPT, or they might use Gemini, or even Claude, or Midjourney, or Meta's tools, or they're using Perplexity. There's lots of great AI tools out there, but the the framework of level 1 is it's basically input to output. You are you're asking questions, you're putting prompts in, whether they're text or voice, but you're asking general AI questions and it's giving you general intelligence back. It's not trained, it's not focused, and it's not connected to your own data. So it has limited memory about you. So ChatGPT does get better at understanding you over time, but it has limited information about you, and you're probably not giving that much context when you ask it things. Um, and then level 2 is where you're using trained focused projects like we were showing in the beginning of the episode, where it has so much information and guidance and instruction from you that when you ask it things, it's dialed into being very personalized to you. And so that's what we call our level 2. And only about, I think, 10% of entrepreneurs that I've ever met, I think, are operating at this level. But it's also where we do most of our work inside of our company is at this level. And thing to remember that prompting still matters. Training it, guiding it, prompting it is a level 1 tool. It still matters to your output. And then level 3 is where you are building autonomous or scheduled agent workflows that are doing work without you having to even be involved. So you can set it up and it operates either on schedule or on triggers or autonomously. Um, and this is where most companies are going to replace most workflows in the future is by level 3 projects or level 3 AI. But the thing to remember is that level 1 and level 2 build into level 3. So we use our level 2 projects to create our level 3 agents. So you can't just skip to level 3. And we're going to show some of that as well. Um, Marshall, have you and I talked about level 1, level 2, level 3 before? I can't remember. And is this something that I just totally made up and doesn't exist, or do you see this elsewhere?
yeah. So no, we haven't discussed like between me and you directly, but I've seen your other webinar video where you just went through like AI evolution, implementation, and also like the levels of AI that you can work with. So I'm pretty familiar with the 3 levels of AI that you've laid out. Um, Basically, yeah, level 1 is a glorified search engine. You can do basically the same thing on a search engine. So you're not really gaining much from that. Level 2 is where you really level up. Like you said, only 10% of entrepreneurs are using it. And um, and that's kind of the stepping stone to level 3 because if you don't have, like we said earlier, structure and a design for that you're trying to aim for, assisted by AI, then it's really hard to get to this level 3 and do it on your own. It's not impossible, but it's just super inefficient. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, cool. Also, full disclosure, I am not an AI expert. I'm just a guy who decided I wanted to have a company that used AI instead of, a lot of employees. So we have no employees. We have a few humans that are doing orchestrating, and AI is doing all the work. And I was just really, really excited about the possibility and the challenge of building that when we created this company back in October last year. And that was really our guiding principle is we had our core values, but then we had a principle of we were going to use AI to plan, to build, to grow and run the company without hiring employees. And that is what people would call an AI native company or an AI first company. Um, but really what I see is number one, it's kind of the future model of a lot of companies, not every company, but it's certainly possible today where it wasn't possible a year or two ago. Uh, and two, I think it's going to open up a wave of new entrepreneurs who don't need employees or they don't need very many. They don't need a lot of capital to get going because a lot of these tools are accessible at 20 or 50 or $100 a month, and you could do quite a lot with that. Um, and three, AI is accelerating. It's getting 5 to 10 times better every year, which most of us have no idea how to comprehend that kind of growth. And at the same time, it's getting 5 to 10 times cheaper for the compute power that you're getting. So it's getting exponentially better and it's getting exponentially cheaper at the same time, which just means, you go out a year or two, 5 years from now, it's really hard to imagine what we can do with this. But there's this window of time, I think, where entrepreneurs can just take a good idea, have passion to solve a problem that needs to be solved, and create and play and create solutions, um, and really potentially disrupt markets by doing it. So you can optimize your own business, or you can create something new, or you can create new things in your own business that just help your business get better. There's a lot of people that I listen to who are on the absolute forefront of developing AI technology. And one of the things they're seeing is it's easier now for companies to create their own software solutions internally than it is to try to find existing SaaS software that meets their needs. And if you look at companies paying a lot of money for SaaS software that doesn't quite meet their needs, but it's just like the best option that was available, you can create now your own things internally that's customized to you instead of going and buying something. And you can create it and you own it, you never have to pay for it. Um, and that's kind of one of the stories of RocketHub is we built a health tech product in Health Rocket using a lot of the AI tools that we developed. And then we realized that the process of building the products and optimizing our own business and creating things for us was more valuable than the product we created. And so that's why we made the move to get into building things to help entrepreneurs use AI, which we'll get more into later. Okay, all right, I got a few more things to show here. Let's go back into here. And let's go back into our projects. So we had looked at the project before, and I'm going to show a different one now. I'm going to show our marketing and brand director project. So again, we got our project instructions up here, and then we've got our project knowledge down here. We've got our vision traction organizer, we have our revenue plan, and we have our products. Um, but here's where you can take a project that's fine-tuned and you can supercharge it. So we added what I call like a supercharged document in this a guidelines document for this project. And so this is a guiding principle document around our marketing principles and guidelines that the project will follow and really directs all of the initiatives that we're going to use going forward for our marketing and brand and aligns with our target mission and our target audience. And this is a long document. I won't get into it, the details of it, but you can see here this guidance was provided by what we call an AI advisory team. Uh, and you see, we hired some pretty impressive talent for free, essentially. We hired Steve Jobs, Simon Sinek, Seth Godin, Ryan Holiday, Alex Hermosi, Richard Branson. We hired all these people and they work for us for free, like as our AI slaves. And they're so good that they created this foundational principles document for us that's going to guide all of our decisions going forward. And the way that we hired them uh, is that we created another project called our AI talent team director. And our AI talent team has instructions to figure out the greatest minds in history and across all domains critical to our vision, and then basically go and hire them for free and get them to create these guidance principles documents for us. So whenever we want to hire a new team, then if we want to hire a team for marketing and strategy, we just get our project to put together the team and then draft our guidance and principles documents, and then we take that over into the project that we want to apply it to. So we've got ones for marketing, we've got ones for product design. So we created one for product design and user experience for the products that we're building. And then today I just did this one where we said, hey, I want to create one for, you can see my prompt up here. I want to help our innate and agent workflow director, which is a project we have, by providing best practices and guidance from the world's best experts at AI agent automation, blah, blah, blah. And it went, and in one shot, it created our agent workflow design principles and guidelines. It put together a whole AI advisory team of very impressive people, of which mostly I didn't know of, but respect given their credentials. And then it gives me a summary of all the guiding principle insights from these experts. It aligns it to our mission. And then it gives us 5 foundational workflow principles that it's going to recommend that we use every time we work in this project. So, Marshall, you hadn't seen this yet because I just created this and I'm adding it to our agent building project. But what do you think about this? And what do you think about our new team of AI advisors here?
I will admit I don't recognize most of the names on there. However, like you said, their credentials really speak for themselves. So it seems like a good team. It seems like we got some pretty good application guidelines here. Um, I think it's really cool that Claude is able to, uh, for a field as nuanced as AI, come up with a list of people that are leading the field and then also come up with these guidelines, even though it's just super new. And so no one really knows what the guidelines should be, but Claude seems to have a really good idea just by being able to pick out just nits and bits of data across the internet. So yeah,
Yeah, and
the
by the way,
power of AI.
we're not sponsored by Claude. I know we talk about Claude a lot. We talk about it very glowingly, but they're not sponsoring our episodes or anything like that. It's just a tool that we like. Um, but I agree, Claude has a really good feel for these things. But I will also point out that there's some good engineering behind this too. So again, remember, the project instructions are very clear about, hey, we want to put together these advisory teams. This is what we're looking for. We need historical luminaries, deceased innovators, philosophers, scientists, and business leaders. And by the way, these project instructions are super critical. But of course, I use the Claude project to help me write the instructions for its own project. So that's another thing you can do too, is you can set up a project to help you write project instructions for other projects. And so then you can maximize how good your instructions are. And then you can tell that, hey, go look at our vision traction organizer and write the project instructions for an AI talent team director. And then once you get the project instructions dialed in, then everything that project does is even better. So this is a way to use AI to get better at using AI, which is, um, one of the fundamental differences in AI technology is it's really the first technology that's been created where you can use it to get better at using it. You
Yeah.
can't really use like electricity to get better at using electricity, or fire to get better at fire. You can't use a car to get better I mean, I guess you can, but a car isn't going to teach you how to drive a car better. Um, AI teaches you, if you ask it right, how to use it and how to optimize it. So I'm pretty excited about, what the future holds as these projects get a lot smarter.
Right. And for anyone that finds like this process super daunting, I think Clay is trying to show that AI can assist you in this process of starting to learn how to use level two. AI. So if you need instructions to be written, you can start with getting, advice from your AI by prompting it, and then you can make corrections as you go along. But it's really not as hard as people like to make it. So just want to put that
Yeah.
out there.
So let's go back. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but in this AI talent director, one of the other things we did is we built a template. So templates are like a nice, like a cheat hack for projects. So if you get a project to output something like a document that you like, so this was a document that it created in a previous chat, and the document was this principles and guidelines. The first time I did it, it was for our marketing and branding principles and guidelines. And I liked it, and I liked how it was structured. It had a nice explanation in the beginning, a nice executive summary. It had our vision, mission, and target, and then it had the five foundational principles. And then I told it, okay, take that document and create a template so that I can use it going forward for other things. And you can see here, it like puts things, okay, business area, like to be filled in, list of experts to be filled in, the date to be filled in. So it puts these brackets in. So it's instructing itself that when it makes this document in the future, it's going to use the same structure, but it's going to update itself by putting in all of these specific things that it pulls. So now every time I ask it, like in this chat, I just said I want to create the guidelines for this project. I didn't even have to tell it how to structure it or to use the template at all. It just knew to use its own template to do it. So when it created this document, you can see here the structure and the flow is exactly like the template. So, this is why projects are such a game changer is especially if you do things like give it great instructions, give it great knowledge, and then ask it to make templates to use in the future. Now I have a consistent template that if I wanted to make any other talent team, it would all be in the same format. So I'm going to take this um, document here and I'm going to copy this here and I'm going to go into our project for the agent builder. And I'm going to add this here. Copy, paste. And I'm going to name it our RocketHub AI Word Agent Workflow Design and Principles, right? That was the name of this. So now I'm giving this agent builder project its guideline and principles document. And now that's going to go sit in here. And now anytime I ask this project to do any task for us, it's going to make sure that it follows these design principles and guidelines that were created by our AI agent advisory team. So there you go. It's as easy as that once you get the flow of it. Um, so there you go. We got a new fun thing to play with in our project base. All right. I want to touch on a few other things that we use as our core tools, even though we won't really get into them that much. But beyond our Claude projects, we also use a pretty nifty tool called Bolt.new. Um, Bolt is a really fun tool if you want to build things that are more complicated than what Claude can build. So remember at the beginning of the show, we had Claude build this like little graphic website and stuff, but this is not a full functioning site. It's not connected to a database. It's not tracking data. It has some limitations to it. But if you wanted to build something really cool, you could build it in Bolt and it will build an actual multi-functional platform for you. This is sort of where you could start building some of your own software or internal things like that. And normally you can take a repository, which is like a code uh, base, and you can import it into here, but you can also just tell it what you want it to do. So I thought it'd be fun. We can go in our project here, and we have a project for like one of our uh, products called Health Rocket Code Director. And I'm just going to say, this is probably going to be something we totally throw away. Um, I'm going to say, give me a quick prompt. to give to bolt.new uh, to create an MVP prototype of the new Health Rocket version 3. All right, so this is actually a project that we'll probably spend like a month on. This is not a quick project, but I'm just going to ask it to give me a quick prompt that I can throw into Bolt and give us some sort of a basic prototype. It's probably going to want to do a lot of researching and going through and like that because this is a real extensive project, but I'm probably going to rush it through to just go ahead and give me the prompt because it's going to try to ask me 5 or 6 follow-up questions because this is not normally how we would build this project. So let's see what it does. All right. So, oh, it's actually just going to give me the prompt. It's not going to push back on me at all. So let's see. It's going to spit this out. Hopefully this doesn't take that long. And then we're going to grab this, throw it into Bolt, and we're going to watch what Bolt does by taking Claude's direction and then executing it. So this is one of the things that we do. We prototype and we build a bunch of things, but again, our Claude project is directing the entire thing because it has all of the knowledge and direction and guidance that we need. So instead of just doing it direct to Bolt, we always start it in Claude first. All right. So I know you haven't spent that much time in this project, Marshall, because I was just putting it together in the last day or two. But what's your prediction of what we're going to see when we throw this into Bolt?
Um, I guess quick question: do we have the version outline or the version pathway roadmap that we created? Did we put that in the project data yet? Because I
No,
feel like
we don't have a roadmap in there yet. I'll show you what we do have. So one, the prompt is ready. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm not even going to check it out. I'm not even going to look into it. Normally I would. Uh, and I'm just going to throw it into Bolt unseen. And while I do that, okay, let's just see what happens. I'll go back into our project here and let's get a look at what is in the project knowledge. So we have our VTO, our revenue plan on our products list. We have a document here that explains how to use bolt.new. So this is a documentation from Bolt's GitHub. So this is like a cheat guide to educate our agent on how to use Bolt as a software platform. So that's super helpful because now it's an expert in using Bolt. Um, and we've got the guidance from our AI advisory team. We've got a design, UX, and product AI talent team. There's some pretty cool people on this, but most people would not be well known. I don't think there's any like Steve Jobs on this list. There's the guys who like made the first iPhone design schemes at Apple are kind of on this list, but not the household names. And so there's that. And then what we have is a summary of the plan to build version 3. So this is a summary about what it's going to include, different features, um, capabilities, things like that. So it's a pretty well documented summary of what version 3 is going to look like. And then it has a incredibly detailed plan for all the tech we're going to use, all the features. This this document would literally take about 5 minutes just to scroll down. So this is really the entire education base on how to build the program itself. So it has quite a bit of knowledge in here. It also has a full documentation of what was included in our version 2. Uh, and it has access to our entire code base of the version 2 program that we already built. So it has quite a bit of information, and I don't know. Let's go see what it looks like. So here's Bolt. Bolt is working. Let's see all the things Bolt has done. Um, it's taken, it's ingested, and it's understood, and it's worked through the prompt. And it says based on your requirements, I'll create a comprehensive mobile first V3 MVP that delivers all these features. It's probably such a big ask that I don't know if it's going to complete it in one shot. It might run out of bandwidth, but here we go. It's creating all of these files, the layout, the index, the challenges, contests. It's probably too much to bite off in one thing, but let's just run that. Let's let that run for a while and we'll come back to it later and see if we didn't break it or something. All right, so another thing that we do is we build agents in workflows, and this is level 3 AI. Um, and I want to sort of demystify some of this because once you understand what it is, it's actually not that complicated. And I'll start with one that we built that is not automated. It's like an on-demand agent. And I'll start with just the structure of these agents. Um, and there's a few things that every agent kind of has, and I'll break it down. One is it has a trigger. In this case, the trigger is our own chat. So we can chat with this agent and just say like, "Hi, how are you today?" Which it's probably going to give us like, it's probably not going to be like, "What?" Because that's not something we normally ask, but it's going to say, "Oh, okay, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I'm ready to help you with any questions or insights you need about Health Rocket. What can I do to help you?" So it has a general chat interface that we can chat with, and then it has an agent here. And in the agent, you can see it's got instructions, kind of like our level 2 projects, where we tell it, okay, you are an AI administrative agent for our company. You're trained with this information. This is your task. This is your job. These are rules to follow. So you can see that kind of the architecture of a level 2 project is sort of mimicked in here as well. And then it's connected to different things. So we connect Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is the AI intelligence here. We could also take that and we can connect it to Gemini 2.5 Flash. We can connect it to OpenAI's 4.0 or 4i Mini, or we can connect it to GPT-5 or Claude. We have total flexibility to connect it to any intelligence source that we want to, which provides the intelligence in our flow. And then we connect it to different tools. And this is like data or project knowledge in a project. So we're connecting it to database tables. We're connecting it to different database tables that we use to capture all of our customers' information and all of the actions that go on in our game. And look, we also connected to our Google Docs. And Google Sheets didn't work, but so it can now access all of our Google Docs. And there's really an unlimited amount of data that you can connect your agent to. And so then if we ask it something like about our data, I can say, can you tell me how many active users logged in over the past 30 days, right? It's going to be able to do that. It's going to think about it. It's going to go and figure out which data tables it needs to go grab. Um, every time I do this, sometimes, yeah, it goes in, grabs the data from the data tables, it thinks about it, it's going to put it in the context, and it's going to shoot back the information that it needs. So this is a general admin agent that can just retrieve information, can process reports. Um, so it's creating this active user summary over the last 30 days, a total of 422 user logins the past 30 days, daily average. Now I could ask it follow-up questions. I can say, yeah, I could ask it to create a detailed summary listing all the critical activities that all these users have done, and it would create quite a big output for me. And I could really just ask it everything that I want to. And so this is one form of an agent here, and it's using artificial intelligence, and we just pay on demand. So this one query probably cost us like half 1 cent, um, in our Gemini dashboard. But if I go back and I look at other agents, no, I don't want to save changes I made there. We have some more complex agents um, that run autonomously. So we have an agent that runs autonomously here, and it runs autonomously because our customers interact with this agent. So our customers receive and respond to and chat with our own agent. So we don't prompt this agent at all. It interacts in real time with our customers based on their user IDs. So that's a pretty complex system. And then a third one is we built a reporting agent that runs on schedules. So you've got a chat interacted workflow, you've got a autonomous workflow that's interacting with other people, and then you've got a scheduled workflow. So every day at 3 a.m., this one runs a user report. every week. On Mondays, this one runs a message report. So these are reports, and then it's outputting the information and sending it and emailing it to our leadership team. So just some different workflows. But the complexity here is just that you've got a trigger, you've got a data intelligence AI, and then you've got data connected to it. And that's pretty much the breakdown of what all agent workflows are. All right, Marshall, you got thoughts on all this?
I mean, you're kind of explaining it to a T. I think it's you can automate your workflow, or you can have it like where it's working just by itself, or you can have it where you're directly using a chat. I think the most powerful example, though, is when you're having it automated, kind of like in this workflow, scheduled on a trigger, and it's doing everything without you having to prompt it. And that's the true um, power of level three AI right there, is being able to have to delegate tasks to AI workers, kind of like this.
Yeah, it is infinite use cases for what you can do with this. You can have it run statistical analysis. You can have it build and update dashboards. You can have it interact with customers. You can have it handle customer service inquiries, give guidance, deliver personalized guidance to customers, or deliver personalized recommendations. It's all about just connecting the right data sources, giving it the right instructions, things like that. All right, let's go back to our Bolt. Let's see if we have anything here. Oh, okay. So, all right. So it created this little MVP for us here. Um, yeah, right. So let's zoom in on this. Okay, great. I don't really love the graphics here. It didn't really give me like a lot of interesting graphics score, like just white background, but it's got a little bit of a UI built in with some challenges, quests, contests, daily boosts. Let's see. Oh, I can like click on things. I could earn points. I could see, okay, like I could start a quest. I could join a contest. Oh, I can navigate to these. Oh, okay. So it's built. So this is not the product that we would ship, but man, it's like a pretty good like working start off of a
Right.
single prompt. I could take a
Yeah.
photo of my healthy meal. I could send it to somebody. I could get points for that. Um, I can join a contest. Okay, I could do these let's see, oh, I can chat with people, I can chat with our AI assistants, I can do different things like that. I could look at my profile. So this ran in one shot. We didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to like step in, correct it. We didn't have to deal with any issues. And if we wanted to deploy this right now, um, we could publish this, do it right now. We could publish this to the App Store with one button. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to publish it on the web. It'll just create an output, and it'll have a link, and I just put it up on the web as it is. It's probably not connected to our database, although it might be because it does know our database information.
Yep.
So I don't know
Yep.
if it's a working model, but it's definitely a working prototype. And you can see the
Yep.
whole thing took one prompt to our project to just give us a prompt to put in Bolt, and then Bolt ran it with really not a lot of interaction from us. So, this is pretty cool. We'll throw this up, but when we're actually building the actual live product, we're gonna be much more involved in this, but um, and much more tuned in. But for a side thing that we were doing while we were on a call, we pretty much produced a first MVP draft of our next flagship product in like less than 20 minutes. Not bad. All right. No, it failed to publish. I don't know why. It's not liking to publish. Oh, let's publish the App Store version too. Uh, all right. Oh, now it's like wanting us to watch a video. We're not going to watch a video. Whatever. Okay, so some of the nuances. We have not ever done that before, so not bad. All right, so we covered Bolt. We covered our workflows and it in. So there's another few things that we do that are kind of fun, and we'll close it out. Um, Another product we use is Notebook LM. This is a different Google product than Gemini, which we use in our workflows. This is really kind of a fun tool that we use for different things, but I'll show here. You can create notebooks in Notebook LM, and you load in data sources just like you would load in a level 2 project. So you can add a file on your computer. You can add a Google Google Doc or Google Slide. You can even give it a website or a YouTube video, or you can just copy in stuff. So I loaded in our vision, our products, and I loaded in a summary of the version 3 Health Rocket. And I told it, all right, give us a summary. So it automatically generates a summary of like, okay, it looks at all three sources and gives you this summary. And then you can create a podcast, you can create a video presentation. So we created this video presentation, and I won't play the whole thing, but we'll start here and I'll speed it up. It's like 1.75, and then it's pretty cool.
Okay, so what if you could use AI not just to, grow your business, but to actually optimize your entire life? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty big announcement from RocketHub that's aiming to do exactly that, specifically for entrepreneurs. We're going to look at how they're weaving together health, business, and personal growth using a really different approach to AI. And everything we're about to explore, it really all starts with this one powerful belief. It's this idea that entrepreneurs are the ones really shaping our future. But if you're one of those people, you know it is not that simple. There are some very real and very common problems that can totally stop that mission right in its tracks. And that mission, it begins by solving three.
All right, Marshall, can you hear that video? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
cool.
can hear it.
So the cool thing here is it just takes the information that you give it, it understands it, conceptualizes it, and then it can put it in like a graphic form here. So I'll jump
An
around and
ecosystem
look
where
like,
improving your health. But here's where it all clicks. The magic isn't in the individual apps. It's how they talk to each other. Your health data can literally inform your business focus. Your progress in one area earns you fuel points across the entire system. It's all designed so that a win in one part of your life creates momentum everywhere else. It's a flywheel.
so pretty cool tool, and then you can really simplify or visualize different concepts. And so this could work internally if you're launching a new program, if you've got a new policy in your company, if you want to socialize something among people, if you want to use this for advertising, for LinkedIn posts, social media, Instagram. I mean, this is really a cool way, to do that, and it's relatively easy and cheap to use. So this is also a way if you have complex documents and you want to understand them and distill them down into simpler versions. It's a really great tool to do that. I don't know, Marshall, have you played with this as much? Like, do you have other use cases that you've used this for, or is this your first time looking at this?
So this is my second time looking at a notebook. It's really fantastic app. I've never played around with it. So I'd be wondering what other things it could do. If it could even create like characters or something like that in like a little slideshow like this. But I think
No,
the
yeah, not quite yet. The video overviews just came out last week, and it's kind of like
mm,
every one of them kind of looks the same, and they all follow a similar format. The voices are different. Sometimes you get a lady, sometimes you get a man, and they're different
right,
um tonalities. So they're starting to vary that, where the podcasts are like always the same guy and the girl, like no matter what. The video overviews seem a little bit better, but you can do
right,
some other things too. Like you can do like a mind map, so it'll
hmm,
generate this mind map, and well, we'll get a look at it when it's done. But you can also generate like a briefing doc, a study guide, an FAQ. So if you like hit
wow,
the FAQ, um, it will produce a nice structured FAQ. It does mind map, but also you can chat with it here. So in the main window, you can just do a chat like, give me the most surprising 3 points and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, right? So you can just have a- an open-ended chat with this project about the documents that are in its source file. And it'll give you this, you can just ask specific information or analysis or anything like that. And then it has this, let's look at that mind map. So the mind map is just sort of like, all right, cool. I want to look at all the different ideas that came out of this, right? So let's look at that. And then from that mind map, it'll navigate and it'll give you more information about everything that's in the
wow,
document based on that. And then let's look at the FAQ. FAQ is like structured, sort of a traditional frequently asked questions that so this
hmm,
is really good if you need to like generate an FAQ for a product or for your website or for a policy or something like that. You don't want to have to write it yourself. It's just
right.
a one-click button FAQ.
Yeah,
All
I've
right. All
seen the
right.
other videos on the Rocket Hub site. Um,
Yeah,
there,
when
those,
we were launching our pivot to Rocket Hub, we created a whole bunch of these to explain to investors about what the new direction was, the mission, the targets, and the goals. And I think it's a great way to socialize things that you want to get out there. All right, and lastly, this is one last tool that we use. It's more fun than anything, but sometimes we'll go into our project here, and let's say I have a new initiative or a new thought or a new idea I want to share with my team, or something I want to share with the investors, and I can go in here and I can say, like, can you write a song lyric track for announcing the new Health Rocket version 3, and I'm gonna say, make this a short 2-minute long song, and use the style of a 1990 Vanilla Ice rap song. So I think that'd be fun. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna tell it to do that. It's gonna write me a song lyric track, announcing version 3. It's gonna be pretty short, and I'm gonna throw it in. We're gonna make a song to close out our episode, because this is a really cool thing to do. And I don't know if sometimes this takes 5 or 6 times to actually get something decent out there, but as an exercise, it's fun to just try to do it one shot. So whatever this is, I'm gonna grab it, and it'll be, we'll just roll with it, whatever it is. So we got the song track, and we're gonna go in here and we're gonna create. So let's create a new one. So we're gonna copy this. We're just gonna put it here, and I think the only thing we're gonna do is take out these directions at the end, because that doesn't need to be in the lyric. So we're gonna cut that, and we're gonna put that down here in the bottom for styles. And styles is what gives the direction here. And I think that's it. We're just going to hit this create button, and it's going to make 2 versions of the song for us. I don't know why it always makes 2 versions, but gives you like an option A and an option B. And they can be quite good. Sometimes you have to make like 6 or 8 before you find one that's interesting, but let's just roll with it. And this is how I think we should end the episode. So Marshall, option A or option B, and we're gonna roll this, and then we'll be done. So which one do you choose?
I like option A. I like the little snippet they got for the photo.
Okay, here we go. Option A. Let's roll. Yeah, not bad. Good start. All right, it's got like too long of an intro. Let's get to the lyrics. What are we doing?
Yo, check it out. Let me tell you what's real. Health Rocket's back with that mobile appeal. Version 3's dropping, got that React Native flow. Entrepreneurs, listen up, here's what you need to know. We took V2's power, kept the game mechanics tight, added mobile first design. Now your health's taking flight. Fuel point system stronger, content still in place, but now it's in your pocket at your own perfect pace. Health Rocket V3, mobile revolution, gamified wellness, that's our solution. From your phone to the web, we keep it all in sync. Level up your health game faster than you think. Health Rocket V3, mobile revolution, gamified wellness, that's our solution. From your phone to the web, we keep it all in sync. Level up your health game faster than you think. Cosmo AI's got your back with intelligence refined. Push notifications, timing when your schedules align. Camera verification, snap your progress real quick. Offline functionality when your network's not thick. Migration smooth sailing, no data left behind. V2 users welcome piece of digital mind. React Native power with TypeScript, so clean, best health app experience you've ever seen. Health Rocket V3,
you gotta like really be a coder to understand some lyrics, but it's pretty fun if you do.
From your phone to the web, we keep it all in sync. Level up your health game faster than you think. Health Rocket V3, mobile revolution, gamified wellness, that's our solution. From your phone to the web, we keep it all in sync. Level up your health game faster than you think. RocketHub ecosystem, 3 products in 1. AI, Rocket Eels, Rocket Health, Rocket, we're done. 1 million years of health span, that's our mission clear. Entrepreneurs rise up, your transformation is here. Expo go testing 60-second iteration. Both new development, that's our creation station. Burn streaks, keep burning. Challenges stay live. Community chats flowing, watch your network thrive. No feature regression, we kept everything tight. Added mobile superpowers, performance burning bright. Super fast back in, PostgreSQL strong. Health Rocket V3, this is where you belong. Health Rocket
Yeah, so like
V3,
imagine announcing your new like HR initiatives and policies to your company using ice rap songs. That's the future of what you can do with this. There's no more boring meetings. There's no more memos in a company. You just roll this stuff out.
Yeah. I actually wasn't half bad. Like the production of it and the lyrics didn't even seem like weird at all. It seemed pretty seamless. Like they're rhyming really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
it's not bad. But again, it's because we had a high quality output of lyrics and structure from our Claude project with tons of content. You can really make some horrible songs if you just like grab regular like lyrics in here. So you
Right.
got to give it some context. You got to tell it what kind of song you want to make. You got to have direction and things like that. And then you can get pretty
Absolutely.
good at this stuff. So you can always fine tune it. If we were going to really launch something, we'd probably give it a lot more direction and things like that. But anyway,
Absolutely.
so
Yeah.
Marshall, I think that was fun. And I'm slightly optimistic that when we actually go look at the recording, that we'll actually have gotten all this stuff. Otherwise, we'll be doing our second beta test next week to see if we can get this right. But
Yeah.
anyway, I had a lot of
Fingers.
fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. This is
Uh,
a fun little start to our AI podcast.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool. All right. So we're gonna do this twice a week. And next week we're gonna actually get into some actual live projects that we have to get done because we can't just play around all the time. We actually have things to get done. So next week we'll
Yep.
start on the getting done stuff, but it won't be much different than what we do here, because this is kind of how we work. So if you stayed to the end, that's awesome. And thanks for joining us for our first AI Live edition. All right. See you later, Marshall.
See you, Clay.
All right, so that was it. That's the recording. So I'll go back and I'll watch it as soon as it's done. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that was fun. What do you think if we just try to, every time just
I,
try to work through some things like that and jump around and
yeah.
use different things?
Yeah, I think the video is a good intro. Like you kind of gave everyone like, all right, these are all the tools we're going to be using. This is how we kind of go about these processes of using our tools. And so that now everyone has that foundational knowledge that, all right, going into the next episode, we don't have to get into the nitty gritty every time. And plus we made the video fun. So I think people are going to be interested in that.
Yeah, that's my goal. Is kind of make it fun.
Mhm.
My favorite podcast on AI is the two guys who do the This Day in AI podcast. I don't
Mhm.
know if you've watched that one. Um,
I have not, but I'll check
and
it out.
they're hilarious. They're two guys from Australia.
Oh,
Um, they make fun of everything, but they're really good at like using AI. And they make all kinds of weird, funny stuff just for the show. Um, I learn a lot, but I laugh a lot. So,
right.
I mean, I kind of like that style more than all the more serious styles.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be like, there's so many people out there like, oh, learn to do this in 30 seconds and then blah, blah, blah. And it's like, like that's cool if you're like working in the industry, but that's not
Yeah.
like most people are like, I just run a business, man. I got to focus on my business. I just want to know how to use AI a little bit better. I'm
Right.
just looking for some like use cases that might actually apply to me. So,
Yeah.
and I want to be, if I'm going to spend time watching something, I want to be kind of entertained. Um,
Yeah.
that's my feeling to it. But that podcast, This Day in AI, you can check
This
that out.
day
They
in
have an,
AI.
yeah, you can listen to it audio, but it's more fun to watch it on YouTube because they're funny. They're hilarious.
Oh, they got good clips of them doing. Okay.
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah. They don't pull punches. They just make fun of most of the products that are out there. I mean, they're complimentary of a lot of projects, but they're the ones who really got me turned on to Claude early on about a year ago. Because they've just been big Claude fans for a long time.
Yeah.
But it ended up turning out because man, so many people are like switching over, especially after GPT-5 kind of disappointed. Um, like Claude's been getting a ton of run. But I think Google's about to put out Gemini 3. So We'll have to see what that looks like.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't think it's going to replace our Claude project, and I think Claude's probably going to put out a 4.5 or a 5 before the end of the year.
okay.
So that'd be
Um,
cool.
yeah, we'll see. I don't I think we already have so much built into Claude that like moving to a new AI would be or project oriented AI would be a little
Uh-huh.
difficult.
It would
Um,
be, but I also like the direction that they're going, and I think that even if they don't have the very best model, which right now they have borderline do, they have the best tuned model for what we do.
yeah,
So I don't see that changing.
yeah. No, I don't see that changing either. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just keep an eye on it because I yeah, I don't know much about Gemini's project related AI
They have a
feature.
project feature called Gems.
Gems, yes. Okay, that's the one that I've
Gems.
heard of.
Yeah.
I've heard
I
it's
haven't
okay.
used it directly, but I've had some people say they've used it. But again, I'm so incredibly impressed with what we get out of the cloud projects. And most people I follow who are trying to do similar things prefer that
Right.
anyway, especially for output and coding.
Hmm.
Uh, it's it's a little bit about capability, but it's also about style and taste and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, I just think it does a really good job. Um, and I didn't even get into the MCP tool. So next episode we should work on a like when we do the next episode, I want to do a few things where we use the agent builder project to update some of our innate inflows, and that would be a good opportunity to showcase the MCP tools that it's using.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a fun episode, especially showcasing one of the MCP tools. Uh,
Mhm.
kind of, I don't know if we have to walk through the configuration or anything. I don't think we'll
No,
have
I
to.
don't think so.
Or,
I think we'll just show how the MCP tool is, but just sort of give an overview of what an MCP tool is, how it
yeah,
works,
yeah,
and then uh, we'll show it in action.
sure. Yeah, that works. I think that would be a good episode, good starter episode for that intro.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
cool.
it was awesome. All right, we'll do
Yeah,
this
cool.
twice a
All right.
week.
Yeah.
All right,
All right. See you next time.
see ya.
Take care. Bye.